Well, it's 7 o'clock, folks. I think it's about time we call this meeting to order and move forward with it.
All right, well, Mr. Mayor, members of council, we thought that if we didn't meet soon, we'd forget what each other looked like because of the length of time between our meetings. And we did have a few items that we wanted to brief the council on that we've been working on in the interim between your hiatus on council meetings. And so we have several of those items for you tonight. And then at the end, we do have a closed session to discuss several real estate matters, possible disposition of town-owned property. You won't take any action on any of those items tonight, but we do want to brief you on them so we know whether or not to go forward. But I think everybody has met Jennifer, and we still here. Jennifer hit the ground running, and one of her first tasks was to meet with a group of interested individuals about a potential dog park here in town. And Jennifer's done a lot of work on that with some citizens, as well as filed a grant application. So I'd like for her to go through that particular program with you tonight to make sure that you know where we are and where we're headed.
Thank you, Darlene. I won't read slide one by one. I did want you to see kind of the evolution of how this came to be. Earl was kind enough to put this together, and it's what we presented to the Parks and Trails Committee about a month ago regarding the dog park. So if you can read over that at your leisure. But the goal of it is to have a location because we do have a lot of pet owners, dog lovers in the area that want a place to be able to take their pets off leash. And as you'll see, as you read in the presentation, the slide presentation that we have, it's good for socialization for the dogs, but also the adults. It's a good place to hold events, community events, adoption days, education for the area, for the town. The location that was determined was along the Smith Creek Trail. I believe it's called the Jungle. There is about an acre to work with there, and it would be, according to Earl and Public Works, a feasible location to have a water supply, which is essential for a dog park. We've got some ideas that we're tossing around. I've essentially turned it over to Walter Umflett, which is, I don't know if I'm saying his last name, Umflett or Umflett, who works at the tavern, Jack Mason's, and he's the one that really expressed interest in this. He's started a GoFundMe, which I'll go ahead and pass that out shortly, where you can donate. He's already got some donations of it, so there is some grassroots fundraising going into that. He's also got some other ideas in regard to fundraising that he's been talking around with other like-minded individuals. In regard to the grant that I applied for, when this had come up, I did some research. PetSafe, which is out of Knoxville, was offering $8,000 to $25,000 grants for communities who need a new pet or a new dog park in the area. So I went ahead because time was limited. We had about 2 weeks to get everything done. That grant package is in your handout. We had a letter from our mayor, a letter from our town manager. I went ahead and typed up an executive summary answering the questions they wanted us to ask. I had that reviewed by the residents on the committee, or on the resident committee, just because I've only been here, at that time, only about 2 weeks. So they looked everything over, added some input, and did that, and it was submitted. So we should hear something in August, but of course we're not depending on that, and so that's why they started, this resident, Walter, has started a GoFundMe page, and I'll go ahead and hand that out.
Are they in a position that that grant for them to do a partial amount of money rather than the full $25,000?
I don't know. I know it's over a 3-year period, so maybe they give you so much a year for upkeep and maintenance.
But just going looking at the cost of the initial part there, we're looking about $91,200 initial money needed build a fence and do what we got to
Sure,
do.
sure.
But I think the important thing about this project is that it's largely going to be citizen-driven.
Citizen driven, absolutely.
We had a citizen come to meet with me, actually, I think even before Jennifer came to work,
Right.
who was very interested, was convinced that there were individuals, organizations, businesses that would probably donate if we had a concept for a dog park. Walter is the gentleman's
Right.
name. He actually has a show dog that has won a lot of ribbons. He's met a lot of dog owners as he walked his dog, and several of the other members of the committee have also been involved in that way. And so we are expecting that citizens group to really be the genesis for any additional funding that's needed. In fact, I told this gentleman when he first came that the town was not in a position to fund this park, that we had other needs that were more pressing, and he was convinced that citizens would be willing, and we told him that certainly people can have plaques, put on, if somebody wants to donate the money for a bench or something, we'd be happy to put a plaque on it that indicates, that
He
donation.
actually states in here, with donations of $100 or more will receive a customized plaque with your name and your dog's name on it, which will be displayed in the park after it's finally complete.
So I guess our interest in making sure you're aware of this is, first of all, it's going to go on town property. And there will be some obvious maintenance-related activities associated with it if we're able to get it funded through the grant and/or GoFundMe and other donations. But it is in response, and while Walter came with a lot of energy, I believe a couple members of council, to include Jeff and Gail, had also mentioned in the past interest, if not by themselves, by citizens who had said they would like for us to have a dog park. And I would anticipate, if we're successful, that you're going to have people from outside of the town that will also be coming in and using
The nearest
park.
dog park is 47 miles away.
So it'd be another way to showcase
47
our...
miles away.
Okay.
There's not one in Lexington or...
A tourist attraction.
Actually,
Well,
it's interesting you say that, because there are a number of people who've said to me, and I'm sure to Jennifer, that people will drive into town that are traveling, and they'll want to know where they can go walk their dogs. And you see that at rest stops and other places. People are looking for a place that is animal, dog, pet friendly, so that they can in fact exercise.
Dulles Airport. So it's important, I think, especially for those that are animal lovers. And I think it's a good, and the volunteers are ready and willing to step up and I think do a lot of the maintenance themselves.
Is that the committee?
Yes. Yeah.
Who's on the committee?
Well, it's a citizen driven, so it's Walter is on it. We've got Josh Taylor from the chamber. There's an intern, Brianna, I believe is her name. She's also on it. Then we had, I think who else was there? Earl was there, and then there was one other person that came. I've got it in my notes, I'm sorry, I can't think of it right now. And I included Jeff on it, and then
I didn't make it last. I wanted to know it.
oh, no, but I included you on the notes and everything,
Yeah.
absolutely, yeah. And then, she's involved with her kids a lot, I'm sorry, I'm still learning names.
Tina
Hey,
Hudson.
Hotstetter, right.
What
She
what I
wanted to be
suggested to
involved.
Jennifer that she do, once Walter came in and expressed his interest, was that we get a hold of our Parks and Trails Committee to see if any of those individuals would be interested in working on what I call a subgroup on the issue of the dog park. And Jennifer had a special meeting for that purpose. So several of the people that she mentioned are in fact part of the Parks and Trails Committee, Josh Taylor being one, Jeff is another, Tina Hotstetter. So they've kind of formed their own group, and Walter has taken the leadership role.
Right.
So they're going to kind of spin off, keep us informed. Walter sent to both Jennifer and I today the little blurb that you have in your hand that they created the GoFundMe account, which has a little bit of a description. That's going to be put on the town's Facebook page, as well as create, I think, a separate Facebook page just
Yeah, he's
about.
working on that, right,
Would
right.
we like to hand out some of these and?
Of course, and I can even email you the link so you can forward that on. I believe it was sent to Doug today to share on the town's Facebook page as
In
well.
fact, it's already been
It's already on there.
shared and we've had one
Perfect.
comment.
Down at Hardee's and Dairy Queen, especially Hardee's, a lot of people come in to, out of town and eat and whatever. And
Right.
If that was posted somewhere, maybe that would get some donations from them.
Well, anywhere that you all can promote this is fine. I just didn't want it to go out too quickly and you all think that we'd start a project that was going to require town funding. And that's been understood from the onset, that this would be a citizen-led initiative. If we could find grants, certainly we would go after those. And we're hoping that maybe in August we'll hear something positive about the
Yeah,
grant.
that'd be fantastic.
I think that'd be a welcome addition to our community, definitely.
Right.
That's the initial cost, but they have a yearly estimate of what it will take to keep it up.
It would just be how many people use it. So we haven't got that far. I haven't talked with Walter to see how far he's gotten on that. We met about 2 weeks ago. So it's relatively new. He just set up the GoFundMe page. But like Darlene said, he understands it. It's going to be a resident run and supported feature.
Are we already maintaining and mowing in that area?
Yes.
Okay. No additions to that?
Well, there will be more regular cleanup needed.
Yeah.
And of course we'll have, as part of it, you've probably seen it in the material, there'll be those dispensers so that people can clean up after their own animals. Most people who use dog parks do in fact do that, but sometimes they're not always as good about that. So there will be some additional maintenance required by either public works employees or hopefully some of these very people who are interested in the dog park being developed would volunteer to take care of it. In fact, my experience is you get one of these and then you then need at least a second one because they're so popular. And the problem or challenge for us is that you really need about an acre of land in order to do it right.
Yeah, how
And you
much
need
space is
availability
that?
of water.
How much space is that?
Well, there's a good half acre.
That's
on
like
that.
half acre?
At least that.
Oh, there's more.
It's closer to.
Is it?
Yeah,
I
it
think
is.
it's more than a half acre, I know.
Okay.
I had the numbers on that one time.
Yeah, I
Talking
know
about
Earl
putting in a trail for kids to ride their bicycle around the bank and back out. Measured it out. Yeah, it couldn't make my mind. work.
Yes, it's over to the, kind of to that side, yeah. And it kind of has almost a little bend or hoop with it,
I
yes.
see it when you make the
It's right
trail.
when you walk into the park. You need to onto the trail.
And it makes a nice addition to that Smith Creek Trail corridor.
That's a perfect place.
And I guess you all have heard that that is a very popular trail. We get more and
I
more
walk there all the time,
compliments.
and I tell Tristan every time there's gonna be a dog park, so you
You tell your dog that all the time? Well, go to the GoFundMe page and I'll make
Tell the
that
dog,
reality.
now you donate.
For the water that they're gonna be supplied, is that gonna be a town hookup? So they're gonna have to pay that on a monthly fee?
They probably could, actually, you could probably set up a system that you can pump the water directly from a creek without you having to be attached to the water supply.
So I think that location was
That's-
also chosen.
That's all you're doing, getting water for the animals.
There's water lines right in there.
Yeah, they're all.
But no, there wouldn't be a separate fee for that hookup if Mr. said if that's what you're anticipating.
Yes, of course.
We don't pay.
Because somebody will ask me,
Yeah.
and I wanna use Carl's statement.
That's
Water
fine.
from the creek.
Tell
I'm gonna
them,
charge them for that.
you tell them also if that person is having a hot flash, that they go up and swim in the creek.
There you
They'll allow
go.
that too.
Thank you. And we won't charge them for that either.
No charge, that's right.
Well, we also don't have coins in the bathroom facilities at the other parks that are used that have water. So
I don't think we
this
need
is
it.
a Any other questions about the dog park? Again, we just think this is going to be a nice addition if we can be successful in
Is there a goal, time
Yeah,
goal?
to a time frame?
I know it depends on the grant.
It depends, we're not really, according to Walter, he's not relying on the grant. That's why he started the GoFundMe, and he's got a lot of ideas in relation to fundraising events know Martha at the tavern is real supportive of it as well. So I don't know if she offered to host anything. He works there as well. So I don't want to speak for them yet, but I do know that there's fundraisers in the works that he's planning on holding.
Well, and I'm confident they're going to be contacting some of the stores that sell pet supplies, pet food and stuff. Yes, veterinarians, and I'm sure that, they can get some donations from those sources. But again, we're trying to encourage the citizens to do that, so it's not the town having to go and ask PetSmart or a veterinarian to make a donation. It's really dog lovers who are interested in having a park. And I think that's a neat
We
idea.
get lucky and get $2,000 or $3,000. Will you go ahead and start when we can with that?
I think we
And wait on the
can.
rest?
Did you want to write a check
The-
today, Jeff? or
the
you wanna
biggest-
wait till tomorrow?
Put on.
The biggest expense is the fence.
Yeah.
As your initial, you can add it, the equipment you can add is, they have all kinds of stuff out there. But the biggest expense is gonna be that fence.
Probably as high as the equipment for the kids at the regular park.
Probably right.
So like Darlene said, we're trying to have him take control and spearhead, and I'm checking in from time to time to get updates. And he sent this morning the GoFundMe page, so.
I think it shows a lot of initiative from somebody in the community to take this on and do
It's
this.
fantastic.
And I think the best thing we can do is just say we support it, 100%.
Absolutely.
I think Jennifer hit the ground, like Darlene said, running. And about a week, I had an email where starting yesterday. Keep it up.
Thank you.
You're doing a wonderful job.
I appreciate that. Thank you.